This episode of PodCRASH is brought to you by Spirit Hoods. You don't have to enjoy cosplay to love a Spirit Hood. Spirit Hoods are like a warm, fuzzy hat with ears that includes a scarf and mittens. Fashionable in the cold or in the evening, they come in styles for men, women, and kids, and in animal styles like gray wolf, red fox, tiger, snow leopard, and panda. Go to spirithoods.com, enter the offer code PodCRASH, you'll get 15% off your order. Spirit Hoods, join the tribe. And now, on with the show. Welcome to the show. I am that Chris Gore, and I've been on a lot of podcasts because that's the whole premise of this show. I'm a guest on other people's podcasts, but I've never experienced anything like this. I was on a podcast called The Slap Booth Show, hosted by Bibi and Fifi Poubelle. They are the Poubelle Twins, and they are French female wrestlers. And they have this strange show. I'm not even sure what to think about this experience, but here is how they began the episode of the show that I appeared on as a guest.
We're too lazy to write a theme song, so we will use Chris Gore's PodCRASH theme song. This is a Slap Booth show. The Poubelle Twins, Fifi and Bibi Poubelle.
Okay, so that's pretty clever. They stole my theme song. They made it into their own theme song for their show. That's pretty cool. But I'm thinking to myself, I've been on so many podcasts, but never on one hosted by twin female wrestlers. And these girls are legit. I mean, they have a Twitter and a Facebook and a website, and you can follow them at Poubelle Twins. It's Poubelle Twins on Twitter. And they're for real. And I checked out their podcast, and they've had legit guests on. Tommy Blacha, who does voices for Metalocalypse and other cartoon shows. James Urbaniak, the actor, also famous for cartoon voices. They approached me out of the blue, and I thought, well, this is very different. This is the kind of podcast I want to do, something like I've never done. But I didn't know if they were messing with me, if this was a big joke. I met them at a party, and one of the twins, I believe it was Bibi, had on her shelf the movie Viva. And I love that film. It's directed by a woman named Anna Biller, and it's like an exploitation movie from the 70s, but it's shot in modern day, and the detail is amazing. Everything down to the costumes and the film stock and the acting and the music. A lot of people think it's a legit film from the 70s, but it's actually shot more recently. In any case, they were a part of that film, and I thought, sure, I'll be on your podcast. You're twin female wrestlers and very attractive. Every man's dream, the twin thing, right? Or not. I think it may be too much pressure in real life. But also the Poubelle Twins are a part of Lucha VaVOOM. And if you've never heard of Lucha VaVOOM, it's a wild, crazy circus of Mexican wrestlers and twin female wrestlers like the Poubelle Twins, stand-up comedians, and burlesque dancers. It's amazing. And there's a show that I attended on Valentine's Day, February 14th. The Poubelle Twins are part of the show. I decided I felt so weird about after my appearance that I needed to ask them some follow-up questions. So I went to Lucha VaVOOM to track them down, and I felt a little weird. Have you ever had one of those experiences where you talk to someone, you walk away, you think that wasn't finished, that was weird. I have some questions. But February 14th, look, it's over now, so we can all breathe a deep sigh of relief that Valentine's Day is over. It's over. I prefer to refer to Valentine's Day as Singles Awareness Day. It's a sad day. Whether you're single or whether, and you're constantly being reminded if you're single that you are single and you don't have a special someone to give candy chocolates to or flowers or whatever. And if you are with someone, there's that pressure that you are going to screw it up. You're going to give something in a wrong way. And I can't stand that kind of pressure. I love to give gifts. I don't like to give gifts when you're supposed to give gifts. That has always bothered me. That thing where you have to give something. It's when you're giving a gift out of obligation and not actual feeling. Like I give gifts to friends all the time. I was thinking about you. Here's this DVD, or here's this book. Friends come to my house and they say, "Oh, I'm such a huge Tron fan." Really? Are you a bigger Tron fan than me? I may be. I have the original. Fine, take this Tron piece of plastic. I don't need it. I have too much stuff anyways. So I like to get, and also one of my favorite things to do, actually, feel free to steal this from me. I don't care. I like to go to a friend's birthday party and everybody's giving your typical birthday gifts. Here's my move. I'll show up to the birthday party with an amazing gift. It's generally warm. And I tell the person, you got to open this gift right away. They open it up and it's a pizza. So I'll just stop by a pizza place on the way to a friend's birthday. I'll wrap the pizza in birthday wrapping paper and then just give it to them as a gift. So another move, and I'm so glad that there's a lot of people in my life that probably should be listening to this show. Family, girlfriends. I'm glad that they don't. And so because this tip I'm about to give you is it's kind of revealing. Here's the thing. A lot of people, they take off the price tag off of an expensive gift because it's kind of embarrassing. You don't want to I don't want anyone to see what I paid for this. I do want someone to see. The thing that you've got to get good at is acting surprised. If you can get good at the part where you act surprised that you accidentally left the price tag on, it's a precious moment, especially when you can convince the person at the store that you purchased said item to put a $600 price tag onto a $50 item. It's amazing. It's an amazing reaction. You just have to get really good at acting that you got your special someone something expensive. So I feel like I should thank my girlfriend for not listening to this show. In any case, actually, she got the tickets to Lucha VaVOOM because she knows I'm a fan. And I just had to find out what was going on with the Poubelle Twins. It was a source of obsession to me. But, I do this show. I would do this show for free every week out of love because I enjoy doing other podcasts. But you can help support this show by picking up a copy of my short film Red. It's about the infamous tube bar tapes and the bartender Red, who's tortured by prank phone calls. Is out there alcoholic? Is there an alcoholic here? Okay, you can get Red now on DVD. It's loaded with extras, including behind-the-scenes commentary. There's even a drunk commentary. If you go to Etsy.com, that's ETSY.com, search for Red DVD, then you enter the offer code PodCRASH, you'll get 50% off. That's 50% off for a limited time because I've only got one box of these DVDs left. Seriously. I got there's less than 20 copies in existence of this DVD. So order your copy of the Red DVD on Etsy.com today. I thank you for your support. Okay, so I'm not a big fan of, I'm a fan of gift giving when you're not obligated to. I feel obligation takes something out of it because everybody's doing it. It doesn't seem special. I like to give a gift for no reason. I have done things, I'll tell you some things I've done. I've hidden cute cards in my girlfriend's purse. I'll put like a card. She'll find it maybe months later, but that's part of the fun. So you should do things like that. Try to do something nice when you're not supposed to do it. I feel like when you're supposed to do it, it just has far less meaning. One of my favorite cards, actually, I think I might have talked about this on another podcast, but I'll just tell you since we're discussing Valentine's Day and cards. One of my favorite cards to write is I'll write a card that says, "I like spending time with you when my penis is not inside you." I think that's a romantic thought. If you think about it, it's very romantic because basically what it says is I'm not all about having sex with you. Sometimes women will feel you're just using me for sex. No, I'm not. I made you this card. And a card that you make, I think actually has more value than one that you would buy from a store. There's another card that I like to do. This one takes some planning out. I kept a copy of this card in my pocket for a long time when I was seeing this girl. And at the optimum moment, I gave her this card. She opened it, and the card said, "Thanks." Open the card for the blowjob. The timing of that was just perfect because also whoever thanks a woman for that act, or a man for that matter. I don't know. Maybe you're a guy listening to this. You have your boyfriend, and why don't you thank him for that? I think blowjobs deserve thank you cards. Anyways, we're all done with Valentine's Day. I'm so glad that that's over. But let's get back to the Poubelle Twins. This was an interesting... I don't even know how to explain this experience. But Bibi and Fifi Poubelle are very attractive. And they do have, they've got themselves a website. You can go to, it's doufilles.net, DEUXFILLES.net/podcast. Doufilles. I bet there's a correct French pronunciation. I'm not doing it right. In any case, I went to Lucha VaVOOM, which the Poubelle Twins were a part of, and I went to track down the Poubelle Twins. And in fact, my producer, Sean Merrick, helped me out with this. We both went to Lucha VaVOOM with our respective mates, seeking out Mexican wrestlers, burlesque dancers, comedians, and in particular the Poubelle Twins, to find out exactly what was going on in this podcast. Was this for real? Were you fucking with me?
Fifi?
Yes?
We have a guest.
Who is our guest? It's a man that's right across the table?
I believe that is our guest. He's shaking his head yes, he agree.
Yes, I am your guest.
What is your name, guest?
I'm Chris Gore.
Yay! Chris Gore! It's such a pleasure to have you over once again.
It's a pleasure to actually be able to sit down and talk to you guys while we're not drinking.
We're not drinking. We're not eating an hors d'oeuvre.
No, we're not at a party this time. We're at a podcast.
I just wanted to be on this podcast to talk to you.
And it is such an honor because, number one, so impressed that you went through my DVDs when I barely know you. You just go straight to the... is that something you do at every party you go to?
It's definitely a reflection of someone's character if you see what their taste is in movies, because then I see whether I will like you or I will dislike you.
Mm-hmm. Should we back up a little bit and tell about how Chris Gore is a expert on film? Do we need to mention this?
I think it will come out, but let's hear it. Well, Chris Gore has a very long history of film love, starting when you was in a high school. I know you don't want to talk too much about Film Threat, but it is your baby that you gave birth to when you were just a young boy.
Yes, I've... for 25 years, I successfully didn't make money with Film Threat. And
that is quite a feat.
It's, like a lot of passion projects. I never made a lot of money with it. But yeah, I started when I was in high school, and it was really just, I started Film Threat as an excuse to meet people that I admired, and so that I could interview them. But then I didn't realize until later that you can just do that on a podcast. You don't need a magazine. But podcast technology didn't exist 25 years ago.
And magazine don't exist now. So, it's kind of...
It's true.
It's like a part of history. I think that's beautiful.
Yes, a magazine like the 8-track, like Viewmaster Viewers, yes. They're on the pile of technology history. But,
it led to other things like you're on G4.
Yes, I'm on G4's Attack of the Show, where I, review DVDs, which is why movies to me it's definitely a reflection of someone's character, which is why I think that most people on a first date, a lot of what they do is they go to a movie. Why? To see if you have similar tastes in things, and it's a barometer to test how you react to things in movies. Like, for example, how people react to love scenes. If you're on the side of it's great conversation after the film. Yes. You really get to know someone in a way that's not too intimate. But I always think that a movie date is a lazy first date. My idea of a good first date is to basically do what I call rock and roll shopping, which is I like to get drunk with a girl, and would take a girl and we would have drinks and then go to DSW and go shoe shopping, because I think that girls tended to find that more fun, because I really feel that at the end of the day, let's be honest, a date is just a job interview for fucking. I mean, that's all it is.
It's a very romantic way to put it.
Yes.
I was going to comment more on how the shoes are important, that aspect, but you kind of blew my idea out of my head with that comment.
Well, the thing is that it's because I feel like with women, shopping is foreplay. So if you go shopping...
Wait, what kind of woman, though? I mean, if you're bringing a woman, are you buying her shoes? Because that is setting up some type of standard.
Maybe they go Dutch on the shoes.
Yeah, no. Let's not go... I'm not taking money out of my pocket to buy a woman a pair of shoes just for a date. Okay, so here I am at Lucha VaVOOM. I'm actually trying to track down the Poubelle Twins. I'd really like to confront them because I want to find out exactly what's the deal with their show. Is this a real show? Are they faking this thing? What? I mean, they're twins because I saw them before my eyes, and I have to actually get to the truth. And I'm here with my producer, Sean Merrick. And Sean, what do you think of this whole scene?
I think I've been to wrestling shows in VFW halls. I've been to wrestling shows in giant arenas. I've never seen anything like this. This is incredible. But I really think that we do need to get to the bottom of this Poubelle Twins deal because it looks crazy. It's absolutely insane.
This is everything you could want in a show. It's wrestling, it's comedy, and it's boobs in the form of burlesque dancers. And oh my God, yes. The first bout was incredible. And I think I know I saw one of the Poubelle Twins. And my understanding is they're going to be hanging out backstage. So I have to find a way to crash the backstage. I'm kind of used to crashing, though, actually.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
so I'm going to find my way back there. Someone is dancing.
There's a lot of wrestlers back there, man.
My God. I'm going to try to get backstage. This is chaos. I'm going to try to get backstage, sneak backstage, and see if I can track them down. Here's some more of the Slap Booth podcast.
You know, Fifi and I we have found you quite charming. We had a conversation about you after you left our party. We feel like you have it's almost childlike ability to just say and do whatever is, and it's a very high compliment because I think it really appeals to Fifi and I because we are so used to being ourselves, especially when we're around each other. There's no reason not to be ourselves because twins will support whatever you do.
Which is a fantastic thing about a twin is you can
fire talk. There's no need. It will happen again and again. We can talk over it. We put the fire truck filter on later.
But we have that freedom to be silly or ridiculous or whatever, and we know that there's somebody who is always
totally hot.
Or
to joke about being hot. Or to joke about being ugly or whatever it is. And we find that you have the characteristic that is like that, except you have no twin. You're just like that in the world.
The world is your twin.
Yes.
I feel I think I appreciate it. I take it as a compliment. Thank you. I do think there's things about me that are incredibly immature and childish. I mean, like...
No, I didn't say childish.
Childlike.
Childlike, yes.
Because before you go to school as a child, I think most children, they say and do whatever they want. And
they are delightful.
They're delightful. They want to amuse themselves and their parents and everyone else. And... So there's no.
And they don't have the filter that goes, should I not be acting like this?
They just do whatever they want to. So, and it's not harmful. It's just more often than not, it's amusing, and you have that quality.
Oh, thank you.
But were you going to tell us about how childish you are?
Well, I was going to say that I appreciate it. I thank you. So I do feel like I have kind of a childlike look in the way of looking at the world, but at the same time, I also pay my car insurance. So
that's a great combo.
I can be like, I'm a little rough around the edges, but I'm responsible in a way.
We never said you were not responsible.
No, we're not commenting on your personal, what you do with your finances.
I'm saying I'm responsible.
Have we struck a nerve?
Well, I think that women I have been with in relationships, it can become tiresome for them.
Chris, we're not in a relationship with you. You know that, right?
Yes, you're going to thank me for that later. But I have a question on that note. I have a question for you guys now. I think it's my turn, right?
Yes, please. Yes.
Okay. And this is a very serious question.
Okay.
A Pulitzer Prize-winning reporter once asked of a great American hero, "What color underwear do I have on?"
Wait, I'm sorry. He asked what color underwear he himself had on?
No.
Or he asked...
A Pulitzer Prize-winning reporter once asked of a great American hero, "What color underwear do I have on?" Actually, can I just say that I was referencing the first Superman with Lois Lane. She was Pulitzer Prize-winning reporter, right?
Oh, was she?
Yes, and she asked Superman what color underwear. So I'm asking you that same question, what color underwear do I have on?
You're asking about yourself.
Yes.
You're wearing.
It's a question about me.
You're wearing Superman underwear.
First of all, how did you know?
Man of Steel. I'm confused though. You have a Batman belt buckle, but you have a Superman underwear. My head is exploding right now.
Let's take a picture of this and we'll put it on Twitter. Okay, so are you on Twitter, right?
Yeah.
What is it at?
I think it might be, it's Bibi Poubelle. I have to figure that out. But the Poubelle Twins Facebook page links to Twitter.
Yes.
So all our updates goes there.
So you will run a picture of my Superman underwear on the Facebook page.
We did not discuss what your underwear was before this.
No, we did not. You guessed. But I gave it away by telling you the question was from Superman. But this is I want proof of this on the internet, because a lot of people, there's a mystery to the Poubelle Twins that I think a lot of people have tried to unravel. And now seeing you in person, I think, well, there's no mystery. You are real and flesh and blood, and I can touch you.
Oh, yes.
I won't do that though yet. I don't want to get into trouble, but I'm saying that run this. I will click like on that picture.
Excellent. Okay, so we're going to take a picture and put it. That is very exciting.
Yes.
I just.
One of you should be in the picture though, just to be sure that it's, because you could take a random picture of anyone's Superman underwear.
Who is also wearing a Batman belt buckle. I know
Right.
that's true,
This is
so.
the fact that you so
Yes.
and my shirt covered all of that. You didn't know that was
No,
the case.
absolutely not.
I did kind of plant that in your head though when I mentioned that question was kind of Superman related.
Actually, there was something else that you mentioned earlier that
Really?
took me off.
Oh, that's good. I love that.
I pick up on things, on underwear-related things.
Well,
Well, that's a very good question. I'm glad it worked out so well.
I just recently watched Superman, and I forget about the soliloquy where she's doing the poem.
mm-hmm.
It was so beautiful. That's all I'm going to say about that.
Are you being honest?
I think it would be beautiful in French, because you've seen a lot of French films, and
Yes.
I'm just curious how they translate when you see do you watch films in French with English subtitles?
Oh, yes,
or do
because
you
we learn English that way, because we listen to the French and read the English, and it helps us to understand English a little bit better.
Yes.
I've always said that if you want to learn a foreign language, take a movie that you know by heart and just watch it in another language. Watch Star Wars with the Spanish or Portuguese
Yes.
track playing.
That's very smart.
Yeah, you could learn German by watching The Empire Strikes Back. I'm not kidding.
Except I would not watch. I still have not watched any of those movies.
You're not supposed to
I know
say
I'm
that,
not supposed to say
You
it.
have not watched the Star Wars movies?
I have not. Believe me, boyfriend after boyfriend has been... American boyfriend after American boyfriend has just completely said, I cannot have a relationship with you because you have not watched these movies.
It isn't. It's definitely a point of conversation with a lot of people. I mean, like we were talking about earlier, dating and going to movies. I think it's the way people communicate, and especially in pop culture. Star Wars is such a connecting thing. I think now you would be really disappointed. You would watch them and go,
You know what? Actually, I saw for the first time Star Wars maybe a couple years ago, and for me, 500 references that I've heard over the years finally made sense.
I feel like you could do a documentary about people who've never seen Star Wars. I think that's a whole subject for a documentary.
I've seen YouTube clips of asking people to explain Star Wars who have never seen it, and it's strange how much it has sunk in, to subconscious. You do sort of know a little bit about Star Wars. You could probably tell me what happens in Star Wars a little bit.
Yeah, I probably could.
But you're not going to.
No, I went to film school briefly, and I wrote an essay about how Steven Spielberg directed Star Wars in one of my classes.
What sucks is I'm looking down at the rest of my questions, and I'm not going to ask you about when you saw Star Wars. I have to cross that off. Great. Okay, so these Poubelle Twins, they are elusive. I have not found them anywhere here at Lucha VaVOOM, but it is also chaos. This event takes place at the Mayan Theater downtown LA, and this is a sold-out show on Valentine's Day, and it's like nerd Mardi Gras. It's like Nerdy Gras is what it is.
Nerdy Gras for me. I love this stuff. I mean, right now, Matt Classic is in the ring. Matt Classic is a legendary luchador that nobody's ever heard of until now. And I can't wait to see. I want to see the Poubelle Twins. I want to see what they're gonna. Don't they get in the ring? They grapple, right?
Well, my understanding is that the Poubelle Twins will actually get on a trapeze.
Oh, okay.
It's
a lot safer, to be honest.
Yeah, exactly, to be above the stage. But I am going to track them down. First of all, I can't believe that they guessed what color underwear I had on. I think I tipped them off, actually, because we started talking about Superman and whatnot. So
it was a very vague tip, though. Very vague tip, and somehow they got it. They're very smart. They're very, very tricky. Better be careful when you find them again.
They got that twin brain. It's like two brains against one, and I'm pretty much stuck with half a brain anyway.
Yeah.
All right. Well, okay. Back to the Slap Booth podcast.
Chris, you was at our apartment not too long ago.
I was at your apartment for a holiday party.
Yes.
And I discovered the most interesting fact while I was there.
Ooh, you must tell us about this fact.
It is the whole reason we decided to have a podcast, pretty much, yes?
Yes. It was basically, I looked on Bibi's shelf and I saw a film that I was shocked that you actually had there on DVD. Mm-hmm. Because it's a rare find. It's a film that a lot of people don't know about, that I also rave to people about, called Viva. Mm-hmm. And I discovered a couple interesting facts. That you knew about the film Viva, which is this amazing independent film made by, written and directed and starring a woman named Anna Biller.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It's Anna Biller. She will correct you. Anna
Biller.
Yes.
And not only that, but that you were involved in the film. You were in the film, or you're in a scene, and you were cut out of a scene, and why it was not in the deleted scenes. I mean, obviously I'm such a huge fan of DVD, and to me, I love to watch the deleted scenes because it's a way to kind of get into the filmmaker's head and say, oh, that was a great scene, but here it is still preserved on the DVD. Why are the Poubelle Twins? Well, I guess there's several questions here. One, how did you get involved with Viva? And tell me, like, what you did on the film, and we'll get to the scene that was cut.
Well, I was taking a ballet class with Anna, who was preparing Viva at the time. I think we bonded in that class. It's women who take ballet as adults. It's a specific breed of woman, and Anna and I found ourselves most compatible in that class. So we came up with an idea in that class together of a scene where she was talking about this modeling agency and how funny it would be to open the door and find one model affixing a merkin to another model.
What? First of all, what's a merkin?
Oh, please, come on.
I'm sorry, you don't know what a merkin is.
What is a merkin?
You have got to be kidding me.
What is a merkin?
Okay.
Assume I do know, but tell our audience what a merkin is.
It is a wig for the nether regions.
Because you cannot show on a film real hairdo that is down there. You have to put on a wig.
Yes.
A very small wig.
So, actually, there are two versions. We shot this scene twice. But anyway, it started with, wouldn't this be funny? And then we fleshed it out a bit, and then I became involved with her film. I think the first thing I did was I shot that scene with her, with this girl. And we've shot it twice, actually. I don't know why the first one didn't work. But two versions. One of them, we're in there, and I'm sticking hair on her, fully clothed. Fifi and I have done several films where we're the ones who are fully clothed, and there's someone else who's naked in the scene. We can talk about the other one later.
Please. Please do.
Erwin Boy.
Oh, yes.
Anyway,
So you've been in a room with naked people.
No, we were outside with the naked people.
For that one, we were
Yes.
playing ping pong. So the first time we shot it, I think I was combing her. No, that was what it was. I was combing her. It was, I just...
Her merkin?
Her merkin.
Was that the merkin or was it the...
I don't remember. It's ages ago.
Okay.
The second, and then we reshot it, and I'm sticking stuff on her, and then my line is, I told her not to shave.
You have a good American accent.
Thank you. That's how I started my involvement with the film. And then I came on to help her with, before we started shooting, I found props for her. Because as you know, every scene in that movie is art directed down to the very last detail.
We should explain that it is basically a movie that was made in the 2000s that looks exactly like movie from... what decade? I mean,
yes, it looks like the 70s.
70s,
it's
exactly.
Definitely like an exploitation movie from the 70s with graphic full frontal nudity of all. Here's what I like about it: it's all types of body types.
Yes.
It's not. I think today we're caught up in a type of body type for women that is the same.
Exactly the same, yes.
And what I like about Viva is it features all kinds of body types.
Oh yes, a complete range, including two main women who are not. They are very beautiful women, but they're definitely not who you would expect to see naked.
They got a lot of junk in the trunk, and I mean that as a compliment.
Yes.
I mean that like
No, they're real women.
Yes.
yes,
The
real
bodies,
women.
Yes.
They have a woman's body, not a
Yes.
girl body, a
Yes.
woman's body.
Yes.
Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah.
And it's a little, in a way, shocking to see that on a film.
Yeah, and unfortunately, Anna got a little bit of flack about that, which I never thought was appropriate. And I do not want to focus on that because the film
Yeah.
is fantastic, and it is a shame to mention that stuff. And I'm sorry I didn't.
But it's interesting that just that it's a sexploitation movie that is so authentic, but it really is about women's empowerment. I mean, she's this sort of kept woman who's a housewife and is in love with Rick. Everything for Rick.
He looked like a Ken doll.
Yes,
He looks like a Ken doll, but she does not look like a Barbie.
she does not.
Although
Yes,
her name is Barbie in the
Oh,
film.
okay then.
yeah, and she renames herself Viva.
Viva, yes.
I love the one scene where they decide to become whores.
Yes.
I
Because
think it'd be so romantic.
Yes.
To be a whore. Now, I'm shocked to have learned this from the Poubelle Twins, but the fact that the American exists. I mean, Sean, have you ever heard of American?
I have, actually. I've heard about them quite often. Kate Winslet swears by them, apparently.
Kate Winslet wears
Yeah,
American?
she wore one in The Reader.
Oh my! Well, I mean, I guess we've seen them in movies. I just never knew. I feel betrayed somewhat. Like, I guess I know what a woman feels like when she finds out a man is wearing a toupee and has fake hair. Now I feel somewhat betrayed. Women wear merkins? This is an outrage. But wait a sec, though. In my perverted mind, I'm thinking like, I could maybe convince a girl to change the color of her hair down there.
And that would spice things up in the bedroom, I would imagine. You know, it'd be like, you never know what you're going to get.
Yeah, it's sort of it's an advanced form of cosplay. All right, well, the show continues. All right, back to the Poubelle Twins and the Slap Booth Show, the Slap Booth Podcast. More.
see, what I like about that, I read the script before I was first getting involved with it, and I thought every line was so tongue-in-cheek and brilliant that way, you know. And I don't know if everyone watching the film gets that, the humor in it, because it's played so straight.
But that's what's brilliant about it is totally meant to be played straight. You don't hit the humor on the head.
Right.
We have to have a Viva Party. If you have a Viva Party, will you invite me?
Oh my goodness! No, we host one together.
We should host one, and we'll serve Jello 1, 2, 3, and we'll have drinks from the 70s.
Do you want to explain Jello 1, 2, 3? I saw you
Yes.
posted a photo.
Yes, Jello 1, 2, 3 is a Jello that I remember from the 70s, in which there are 3 layers of Jello, and the bottom layer is actual Jello as we know it, just clear gelatin. The middle layer is a mixture of gelatin, and it's Jello mixed with milk. So it's kind of a creamy version. And the very top is like whipped cream mixed with a little bit of Jello in it. So it's like it goes from, like bright red to sort of a pinkish to a very light pink on the top. So it's Jello 1, 2, 3. And they used to sell it in stores. And I don't know if you can get it now, but we should do our own homemade recipe of Jello. We can have tang and vodka. We can so we can serve 70s themed drinks, and then also we'll just have to dress appropriately.
Oh, yes.
And I am hoping that every woman there will wear a merkin.
Visible or not, they must have a merkin on.
Yes. Oh, actually, that should
to
be
check.
on the invitation, on the Evite. You should put. It should definitely be a Viva Merkin party. Mm-hmm. Why not? I don't know. I love
question, why
theme.
not?
I love theme parties like that because I'm talking about having a party. Actually, the Super Bowl. The Super Bowl is a big event in America. Right. There's Christmas and then there's the Super Bowl. They're pretty much even. And I heard an interesting statistic about the Super Bowl. It's the one time of the year where during the Super Bowl, the sort of 4 or 5 hours the Super Bowl takes place, there is the least crime in the United States.
Oh,
there is no crime. Because people are obviously focused on the Super Bowl. So crime is at its absolute lowest rate in the U.S. during the airing of the Super Bowl.
Wow.
directly after the highest incidence of domestic abuse happen after the Super Bowl.
Oh, depressing.
It's all men who have lost bets, or the football season's over, or they're angry.
That is heartbreaking.
Yes.
Yeah, so it's the lowest crime rate, and then domestic abuse just goes, woo, skyrockets. Strange, eh?
Sadly, it's not strange. Makes perfect sense.
It does make sense, yes. The jockocracy rules even outside of high school.
Oh, no kidding. No kidding.
Yeah. Although I think there's never been a better time to be a nerd. I mean,
Definitely, yeah.
And the Poubelle Twins are nerds of a shade. I'm just not sure. And I have a question related to that, actually. What's the nerdiest thing about you, both of you? And I know, obviously, everyone knows of the Poubelle Twins in the arena. Mm-hmm. But what about inside?
Did you do that on purpose with your voice just then?
I did.
Really? I'm sorry to call it out. It was appreciated, though. What is the nerdiest thing about us, Fifi?
Well, I could say a little bit we are Lucha Libre nerd, because if somebody is wearing a kitschy mask that they get on Anvers Street, I will have to say, oh, that's Blue Demon, that's Mystico. So in a way, I'm a little bit of a Lucha nerd. I would say that.
I was hoping you'd say you were a Merkin nerd, but this...
You keep saying the word Merkin, which makes me... I just want to tell one little Viva story, and
Please.
I have about 1 million of them. I don't know...
This is a sad story.
Please, tell me the Viva story. And we still haven't gotten to the scene that was cut.
Yeah, things got a little crazy on the set of Viva, and there were many jobs that I did for her. Also, I think officially I'm listed as model and property assistant, which just does not begin to encapsulate what I did on that set.
But I think it's a bit more polite than Merkin master. Merkin master.
So I've told you the story before.
Ooh, Merkin master.
Anna would get frustrated with people on set, and there's good reason for that. One day, I think she might have been taking it out on me. She sent me down to Sig Friends, which is a legendary makeup store in the valley, and she told me to ask me to rent, like 5 or 6 Merkins.
You can rent a Merkin?
Oh, no, you cannot.
You can't rent Merkins?
But she was so specific in all her requests from me that I just did, I would do whatever she asked. And I knew that this was the most ridiculous thing, most unsanitary, and just completely unrealistic request. But I went down there and I reluctantly asked to see their selection of Merkins.
Where did you get? First of all, I'm going to write this down. Where did you go to get the Merkins?
Well, they do not rent Merkins. They do not sell Merkins.
It's a cosmetic shop.
Yeah, it's a cosmetic shop called Sig Friends, and they have a Sig Friends, and they have an amazing selection of makeup and all that, special effects makeup and all that. But the girl was so helpful. There's like a little section of like
sideburns
and that sort of thing, and like beards, and she's like, maybe this would work. But I just know I had to say, because Anna was so specific about if she wanted something, I had to ask for her specifically what it was. So I had to go through the process of saying, do you rent Merkins? And then I'm sure they all went in the back room and had a good laugh at me, and then come back out, and then one girl...
what would work is a Van Dyke. I think a Van Dyke would work in terms of a hairpiece. It
would work as a Merkin.
Well, I'm saying it would work as a Merkin. Like, you could get a Van Dyke and then just take that, because it's triangular shaped.
Yes.
If that's what you're going for. But I think if you're going authentic 70s, you probably just use a full wig.
You can cut up a wig.
Right. Right.
Yeah, well, we did end up using... There was a whole scene in the nudist colony, and a lot of people needed help. Thank God they had a makeup person. She did not ask me to stick hair on people. That was not one of my jobs. I had many jobs, but that was not one of them.
So they would apply spirit gum to the genital region.
I guess so, yeah. I was not a part of that process. But there was like 20 naked people, and...
Were they mostly shaved completely down there? Okay, I found a way backstage. I can't believe I found them. Here they are. Fifi, Bibi, like, hey, you guys are here. Okay, first of all, you need to explain this. You need to explain what happened on the podcast. When you guys were talking about Merkins, I feel in some way...
You try to rent one?
No, I just want to ask, I feel in some way that a Merkin on a woman, if I discovered a Merkin on a woman...
Yes, what about it?
if I discovered a working on a woman, I think I would feel the same way as, say, if you found a toupee on a man.
If we found it on his nether regions, you mean, or on his head?
Yes, I hope I never had that experience.
Well, I can't imagine a man would ever wear a merkin, but you know the disappointment you might feel if you discovered that a man...
In the middle of passion, you reach up and and his hair do come off in your hand. Yes, it would be scary. It would be disappointing.
You're obsessed with hairdos, aren't you?
I just feel that, like, a merkin is basically a toupee for the vagina.
You're pointing the microphone at my face, but I'm not going to answer.
I feel like, okay, when you guys were, let's be honest, I think you might have hurt me.
What? How is it possible?
And I'm not even talking about the slapping part.
Your feelings were hurt?
Wait a sec. Are you guys performing tonight?
Well, we were, in the beginning, we threw some candy at people. And
we helped a lady out of an egg. That's all we did, and then we had some champagne. That was our job tonight. Why? What do you ask?
Then Fifi got mad at me because I was downstairs when I was supposed to be upstairs.
We were supposed to be two bridesmaids, and I was only one bridesmaid, and that was very awkward.
See how angry she is? She does not want to have fun here anymore. She wants to be angry at her twin.
It's a pastime, yes.
I feel like somehow I've done a lot of podcasts. In doing your podcast, somehow I felt like I was trapped. I was.
You are in a jail of your own design. I'm sorry, but you seem very happy to us. Maybe you come away from it with a feeling that you feel dirty or you did something wrong, or I don't know. But you seem very happy at the time.
Yes, this is all in retrospect, because at the time you were smiling and having a good old time. So I don't know what you're speaking of.
Oh, maybe he feels shame because he shows us his underwear and he not used to doing that. You know.
Why? Tell us why you feel you were trapped.
I feel I have left with confused feelings. I feel somewhat confused.
And that is different from everyday how?
Precisely. Thank you for talking for me. You have to go? Why do you have to go? Wait, I have a lot more questions. I have more questions.
Fuck off.
Maybe don't be so rude.
No, I'm sorry. No,
Why? Come back. What? What? Well, I have a question for you now.
Another one, okay.
I've heard of the Poubelle Twins. You've been described as nerdy and dirty and thinky and kinky.
By you?
No, I was doing my research. You did research on the internet. I did a little Google search too. Nerdy and dirty, thinky and kinky, but which is which?
Oh, we've been referred to those as our names.
Yes. You've been referred to. You've been described as the Poubelle Twins have been described as nerdy and dirty, kinky and thinky, but Fifi is, Bibi is which?
I think someone probably called me nerdy and dirty. Dirty.
Are you nerdy or dirty?
I am not fond of bathing. No. I mean, I'm kind of a filthy girl. Is that what you mean?
I think the dirty is not meant in a sanitary sense. It's more in a the bedroom sense.
Oh, bedroom sense.
What about thinky and kinky? Because it basically is just what I read on the internet. I'm being straight up here. Yeah. Okay, one of you, no one seems to know. One of you is the smart one, and one is the kinky, sexed up one.
Thinky and kinky is one person.
Thinky and kinky. No, I think they're saying separately.
Oh, I'm saying. Okay, so one person is nerdy, one person is dirty.
Yes, and one is thinky and one is kinky. Which is it? And are you willing to admit to any of this?
Fifi, if it is on the internet, it is true.
That's yes, of course.
You should do a Google search on yourself.
We should probably work backwards from that truth to figure out what the fact was behind that statement.
There was probably a defining incident for somebody, and they could tell from now on.
Something that happened in the arena?
we've never done any had a bedroom arena situation, so I'm going to say not arena.
I have to say there are some people who do not quite accept that my husband is a puppet American, and they find that to be some type of kink, perhaps. So
perhaps, yes.
I suppose that maybe that is where I came from. But I cannot be kinky and dirty.
No, you're probably nerdy and kinky.
Nerdy and kinky. Yes.
Right? Because these are two separate incidents.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
I think that might be
And,
it.
yeah, I'm probably filthy and...
No, not filthy.
Unscrubbed and...
No.
Cerebral.
That wasn't...
Right?
It has to rhyme.
Unscrubbed and cerebral does not... In French it rhymes. Those two words.
Does that answer your question? I
think the rumors are going to continue to spread.
Like you said, it's obviously true. We need to find out why.
To wrap up the show soon.
You have to fulfill a promise.
Oh, yeah?
The show needs to end with a slap.
Oh, it's true.
Okay.
So, where would you like me to stand?
Okay.
Would you like to administer?
Yes. No.
Yes, why don't you do it?
Okay.
If you have better aim, you can hit harder than
I can hold the microphone.
Okay.
You're going to probably take off the headphones, so.
Okay.
We just did this on someone else's podcast, and I'm a little rusty. I have to...
Okay.
So
All right, I'll hold the microphone so that there's audio that can be...
you want it on your cheek, yes?
Okay, yeah. Can you hear okay?
Is it test slap? Can you hear?
Put on the headphones? Oh, yes.
Oh, that's just the test?
Yes.
Oh, no.
So,
Wait,
make sure you...
This way,
Yes.
and your face is already trembling. That's good.
So we're going to do a countdown?
Yes.
Oh, his chin, it's like a little puppy dog.
To him. He's already...
Okay.
Right.
So, 1, 2, 3.
I didn't get your eye, did I?
Now,
Thank you.
do you think that you could use a second slap, or is that enough for you?
Go.
Okay. Going to do the other side of the face, or do you want the same side? This is...
Sure. Let's go this side.
Okay. It's not so much my better side, but...
And thank you, Bibi. That was awesome.
Delia.
Bibi slap, Fifi slap.
Okay, so you're going to count down.
1, 2, 3. You hit the microphone too.
That's my hand.
I'm sorry. Okay, so that's it for this week. On the Poubelle Twins, which you can follow them at Poubelle Twins on Twitter. Also, dufields.net/podcast is their podcast. DUXFILLES.net. And Poubelle is POUBELLE. Twins. Fifi and Bibi, very cute, very funny. Look, if it is all an elaborate joke, which I think it is, it's actually a very funny one. And as far as I'm concerned, if it's a joke at my expense and it's funny, I don't care. I think that mission accomplished. I don't mind being the butt of the joke. It's just odd to have a podcast turn it around on me. Usually I feel like I'm the one on the podcast that is playing a trick by actually, first of all, convincing them that I should be a guest on their podcast, and then secondly, by getting away with saying things that force said podcast to add that explicit label to their rating. But in any case, it was quite an experience to be on the Slap Booth show. The show lives up to its name. I can tell you from experience, my cheeks felt it. So thank you for listening this week. We're actually going to have a bonus episode this week because of the Oscars. Later this week, we'll be posting another episode of the show where I crash what's trending, and I'll be talking all about the Oscars. So the Oscar episode will be up in a couple days, so listen for that. Also, if you want to follow the show, follow at PodCRASH Show on Twitter. You can also follow me at that Chris Gore. We've got a Facebook page, facebook.com/PodCRASH. Give us a listen on iTunes, and if you do, please give us that 5-star rating. I love the old 5-star rating. I really do appreciate it, and I'll be reading from those reviews that appear posted in a future episode of PodCRASH. So thank you very much. It was a lot of fun this week. I'm just not sure I'm used to being the butt of the joke, but I hope you enjoyed it. And as I like to say at the end of every episode of PodCRASH, let's get out of here!
Viva has it all. Comedy.
I've always wanted to be a prostitute. Sounds so romantic.
Drama.
Ricky and I got in a fight.
Maybe wait a long time. adventure, pathos,
You're not only a whore, you're a filthy lesbian.
it all adds up to what critics are calling a new kind of cinematic experience. Viva, feel the excitement. Viva, live it as if you were really there. Viva, experience the sexual revolution.
We'll be back in time to cook dinner.
Hey, if you're still listening to this, you're probably a lot like me. You're the kind of person who stays through the end credits of a movie and looks at all the names. Hey, I know a guy named Dave Williams, as the name scrolls by on the screen. Well, for that, you shall be rewarded. If you send a self-addressed stamped envelope to PodCRASH with that Chris Gore, 5042 Wilshire Boulevard, PMB 1500, Los Angeles, California, 90036, you shall be rewarded. You will get a gift in return. Something small, something that will be a token of my appreciation for listening to the end of the show, and I will thank you for it. Later.